Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Gooner and our show The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, just trying to stay warm and I'm not gonna lie, man. I'll admit the winter break has actually been pretty good as a fan. Generally what I like to do when there's a break, I like to kind of break myself. And so like I'll admit, at the start, I haven't necessarily been following all the transfer rumors and a lot of things really up close. Been kind of trying to distance myself a little bit just to give my brain a rest. But this week things are kind of getting back into the swing, and there were some games going on recently, so getting back in the groove in terms of a fan and watching and all that kind of stuff. But I'll admit I'm in a good mood, all things considering, just because that break as a fan has done me some good, you know, up to now. Like we'll see what happens.
Yeah, bro. We needed a break as a team as well. We've been suffering recently, three losses on the bounce, bro. Hopefully that break, give the players a chance to refresh, reset, work on the training ground, work on that shooting, because really need to improve the shooting. So we know they've been out in Dubai for this winter break they had. Let's talk about the last game we played before that winter break, which was Liverpool at home in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way again. When you're watching that game, it's like you like got to take your chances, got to take your chances. We're making the chances, so many chances in the first half. We could have easily had two, three goals, but we just weren't able to put the ball in the net. It came so close. Odegaard shot there. Small margins could have made a big difference. If we had gone ahead, I mean, like I said, we could have. We were looking good. So maybe we could go 3 nil up going into half time. They did have that one good chance as well in the first half through Trent, who also hit the bar. But then second half, as I was saying, that you felt that we didn't take our chances. It could come back and bite us, and it did. They did play better in the second half. We still had chances as well. It was a good end-to-end game, but then they had them two late goals, and they managed to beat us 2-0, and we're out of the FA Cup. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is what happens when you play really good, or even not even really good teams, but just any team. And this is like a sports in general, right? Like, I mean, if you don't, you can dominate possession, you can dominate whatever kind of offensive stat you want to bring out. But if you're not putting points on the board, as we say in America, or you're not putting it in the back of the net, um, it'll hurt you in the long run. The longer that the other team is able to withstand the pressure, the barrage of attack that we were putting on them, and we weren't able to put the balls in the back of the net. Ultimately, it's going to hurt you, man. And I thought, as you said, man, we had plenty of chances. Even in the first like 5 minutes, I remember sitting with the boy with the boys at the bar, and I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna turn this around. Like again, same kind of feeling we've been having for the past month. Like Arteta, whatever, when we got the plan, we got something going on where we're coming out, and the plan is to win 5-0 every game. Like we're attacking, we're killing these guys in the first 20, 30 minutes, but we're just not clinical enough, man. And second half, Liverpool started to have a little bit more possession, and they started to look a little bit better. And I thought, like, this is what I was afraid of, man. I was like, we should be up 1-0, 2-0, maybe even 3-0, because of course, a team as good as Liverpool is not going to just sit back the whole game and allow us to just dominate them. And sure enough, they were able to kind of flip it back on us. For the most part, I thought we did well defensively, shut them down. They didn't really have any serious chances. Um, and in fact, the goal that they got was a corner, I believe, and then, or it might have been a free kick, like really close to the box, and it came off of Kiwior's head, so it was an own goal. So it was really frustrating, man, because I thought overall he played very well. I thought as a team we played very well. But it's just, I mean, that's just how it's been going for the past, 5 or 6 games for us, man. We aren't clinical when we need to be, and other teams are clinical when they need to be, and they're capitalizing off of you know, simple mistakes, and it's cost us an opportunity to run for a trophy that I was kind of hoping we'd have a good run in, like the FA Cup. For me, it's fun to watch. It's got a different vibe to it. It's great to see all like the different teams from the different divisions go against each other. I was watching some games today, and it's just disappointing that we're not going to be able to kind of run for it because, I mean, as we all know, Arsenal has the most titles in the FA Cup, and it would have been nice to add another one. Um, but it also puts a lot of pressure on the team and Arteta. It's there's no way around it. It's very disappointing, and we should have figured out a way to win, especially the way we played. Um, and that second goal was just an absolute soul crusher, man. And it definitely it was a big reason why I decided, you know what? After the game, I was like, you know what? I'm not really gonna watch or pay attention to a whole lot of things Arsenal related or football related for a while, just because I needed that break, and I didn't want to spend the next 10 days just kind of sulking over that loss. You know what I mean? Because I know the players weren't going to. I know they were going to take a few days off, go to Dubai. You know, they look like they're doing well over there. So I just kind of wanted to be in the same kind of mindset. Like, I'm just going to move on from it. And then this week is when I finally started to like pay attention to, to what's going on.
Yeah, bro, it's always difficult after losing a big game like that. And like I say, 3 games on the bounce. It's a real bad patch. It's been a long time since we've gone through such a bad patch like this to lose 3 games in a row, 2 of them at home as well. Difficult times. And as I say, hopefully that this break's gonna do the team good, get that bit of rest, come back refreshed, and there's still a lot to play for, which we'll get into soon. Still Premier League, only 5 points off, but it's still early enough that we can overcome that. Also got the Champions League knockout stages to look forward to, so still a lot to look forward to. But let's talk about some of the latest news then. Let's talk about the transfer situation. We've not heard a lot. You said yourself you've not really been paying too much attention to it. Myself too. This time of year, whenever it's transfer windows open, there's a lot of rumors out there. We don't know the situation. We don't know what funds we have available, if any. We're hearing things that we might need to sell. There's a financial fair play rules to take into consideration as well. But there's strong links to Ivan Toney. That's a lot of money. I really can't see us getting that done in January. What's your thoughts on the transfer window? Do you think we're going to get any business done?
Uh, it doesn't look like right now. I would probably say if I had to put like some chances on it, I'd probably say less than 50% chance um, that we're gonna get any business done, or serious business done. I know Marquinhos, who we had on loan to Nantes, I believe, in France. I know we're recalling him. He plays in the same position as Bukayo Saka, so you know what I've read about what's going on with him is he's not necessarily getting enough playing time to justify going out on loan. So I think the club maybe thinks, all right, we'll bring him back here, see if we can put him in the mix and see if he gets a chance to play. Obviously, I think we need all hands on deck in terms of players coming back from injury. The big news, I feel like we had Gabi Jesus is already back in training. Looks like Takahiro Tomiyasu. I don't know if he went off to the Asian Cup or not. I actually looked up the first Japan game, and he wasn't even on the squad. So I don't know if he's even like with them or whatever.
I
But I know
I
Thomas.
heard I heard that he's training separately because they want to get him back to full fitness, not rush him into it. So that's good.
Okay,
They're not trying to rush him in.
that's
He's training like fully yet, but easing him back into it. So that's good.
That's good news. Yeah. So I mean, he's back. I all the back and forth about Thomas Party seems like he's back in training in Dubai. So I think all that was just kind of keep him off the Ghana squad. A little bit of gamesmanship. But I think finally we have him back. As I mentioned, Gabby Jesus back. Um, Fabio Vieira has been training with the team. I know we might still have to sit out games because of his suspension or whatever, but from the red card. But I mean, looks like we're getting a lot of the players back. And I think ultimately the way I feel about our team, like I said earlier, even in the losses, we've had good game plans. Like we're not lacking chances. Our defense hasn't been pitiful. I think we're okay if we didn't get anybody. I don't think we need a striker necessarily right now. I just think the people we have need to be more clinical. And I don't think and I don't think we're able, like, let's say we were able to spend $80 million in January, we probably would have, but I don't think that's the case. So given all that, um, the only one I see maybe is the Onana guy from Everton, who's like a really tall, lanky midfielder. Um, those are like the strongest links that I've heard. He's Belgian teammates with Leandro Trossard. We do need reinforcements in that position. Um, but I think ultimately, I don't think, if anything, if we're going to get any kind of business done, it might be selling a player because I think what we're going to do is we're probably planning on having a big summer again in terms of spending, where I think our marquee signing is going to be a big time striker to kind of build on what we have. But I think we do need to sell players, and I think if we're going to do any business in January, it's going to be selling players. And if anybody's coming in, chances are it might just be like a loan type of thing. But yeah, I haven't really heard anything. And I think I'll throw one more thing before moving on to hear what you think. Um, I think we have it'll be late, like it'll be like deadline day type of things. So 16th, we still got like 15 days to go. If anything is going to start happening, I don't think we hear about it until like the 25th or the 26th. So that's kind of how I feel. Again, just kind of starting to look today because I knew we were going to have a conversation today. So that's how I feel, man. What do you think?
Yeah, as I was saying, it's a difficult window. It's unlikely we're going to be able to do anything. Like I said, we don't know the money situation, but it seems because of the financial fair play situation, it's going to be difficult. We know we've spent quite a bit. We haven't managed to get that many players out as well in the summer transfer window. So yeah, I'm just not sure that we're going to be able to do anything, even if we really want to. And I think more, like you say, it's about looking towards the summer, and it's most likely in the summer that we will get that striker that we really want in. And as you said, it's just that we've got to work on what we've got. We've been creating chances. We played all right this season. It's not like it's been that bad. Like the last three losses on the bounce is not ideal at all. But we've been looking all right this season. It's just about taking our chances. We had a lot of injuries as well. I was asking you in the last show, like, what do you think's been the big difference between this season and last season? Them injuries have cost us a lot. Hopefully, as you're saying, players are coming back. Hopefully, we keep most of our squad fit now going into the second half of the season. And as you said, they be more clinical. I said, I'm hoping they've been working hard on that shooting out there in Dubai while they've been training out there. If we can just put the ball in the net a lot more, take our chances, things will be different. And I'm confident we can do that. We saw last season we were able to share the goals around. Odegaard was getting goals, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. We really shared them out well through the team. And hopefully, once we get back, Jesus as well. We always hear this thing that he's not like an out and out goal scorer, but he's such a key part of our team. He's able to get goals, he's able to create the chances, make the space for the players around him as well. So keeping him fit is going to be massive. And we just have to work with what we've got. And I'm sure we can go on a winning run. And that's the key for us now. We've got to go on a winning run. Massive game when we come back. Crystal Palace have to get that win, not in a Forest away, then Liverpool at home. And if we can win them 3 games, and if Liverpool won their games before that as well, and we beat them here, it would only be 2 points between us and them. The big danger for me is Man City. like from the start, we all know they're the favourites. They're still the favourites. They had that little blip. They've come back, went to the World Club Championships, won that, come back. They're looking great form. We saw what De Bruyne had done for them in that game against Newcastle. Like, he's so good. That's how good they are. That they're still right up towards the top, and he's not played this season for them. He only played the first little bit of their first game. So having him back's massive for them, and they're going to be a big danger tool. They are, for me, massive favourites still to win it. But we've got a chance. we're going to take care of our business. Got to go on that run. Like I say, it's really important when we come back. But I wanted to ask you before we do preview that Crystal Palace game, it's just a little bit about the overall situation. So we hear talk, and I find some of it a bit extreme. But some of the talk that we're hearing is that Arteta is under pressure, and we've seen what happens in managers' jobs. We've just seen Jose Mourinho get sacked today. He won Roma their first trophy for a long time. You would have thought they would give him a lot bigger of an allowance, having done such a big achievement for them. But we've seen what clubs and owners are like. We know, luckily for us, our owners are not like that. Our board are not like that. They like to give managers time. They have given Arteta time. He's taken us from down in eighth in the league to up at the top of the Premier League, competing. We came so close last season. We're still up there fighting this season. But there is talk that if we weren't to win the Premier League or Champions League this season, then he's under pressure. For me, you cannot be saying that. He's raised our expectations. You've got to give him time. He's still a young manager. We've got to go out there and get him that out and out goal scorer in the summer and see what he can do next season. So regardless what happens this season, for me, he definitely should be getting next season as well. But what's your thoughts on the situation?
I 100% agree with everything you just said right there at the end, especially. Um, for sure, I've always felt like we've been overachieving, so to speak. Like last year, obviously was let's get back in the Champions League. We competed for the title. That was great, but and again, that's going to raise expectations. I almost felt like this year sort of been the year like, hey, now it's time to compete for the title. So, and here we are again, not very far off. I mean, we're in fourth, 5 points back, but one game in hand. Or no, actually, no, we're going to be playing this. We're at the same amount of games. So, but yeah, 5 points back. Um, but we still play Liverpool again. We play City again. We play everybody ahead of us one more time. So we're in the mix of things, and it's really tight at the top. Nobody's really pulled away. So yeah, I think the talk of pressure is a little bit premature. I think if we were to fast forward to the summer, and let's say we don't win Champions League or we don't win the Premier League, then yes, there has to be some kind of talk like, hey, now's the time. Like, let's go. Like, we have to do something. We've talked about setting standards. Here we are. We have to live by the standards now. Um, but I don't think like something catastrophic would have to happen. I'm knocking on wood, but for Arteta to lose his job at the end of this season, it would have to be like some catastrophic type things. But I think as long as we're fighting for it, competing, doing well in the Champions League, um, obviously we want to finish top four if we can't win the title. Um, I think we're going to be. I think Arteta's safe at the very least until the end of the season, and going into next season, I still think he deserves, to work to write out his contract. Um, Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is maybe, there's this dynamic where you have a rebuilding phase and you have like a starting point, and then you have a coach that takes you from A to, let's say, G or H or whatever. And then he can only take you so far. And then you need somebody to kind of take you to the next level. Like Liverpool, for example, when they brought in Jurgen Klopp, I forget the manager who was there before him, but I feel like what I understand, what was that? Yeah. So I feel like they reached a certain level, and then they were like, okay, we need that game changer, next level type thing. I'm not saying that that's where Arteta is right now. As you said, he's a real young manager. He's learning on the job. This is his first job ever. Like considering all that, like he's doing a wonderful job. Um, and I think when it comes to that next level, maybe the jury is still out a little bit, but Arteta can and the players can put that to bed by going on a run this second half. So I think there's a lot of things up in the air. Obviously, there is some pressure when you're in the Premier League and you're a club like Arsenal and you're supposed to be competing. Um, but I still think the talk of Arteta, like there's some people who are Arteta out and they're here for the engagement and the banter. And it's I feel like it's way too early for all that. We shouldn't be calling for this guy's job as much as he's him and the players have gone from from the beginning of the journey to where we are right now. Like there has to be some kind of patience involved. Like so I would hope people would just relax a little bit. Let's just let's just go to Saturday and let's see what happens. And then, one game at a time. Got a lot of games going, man. So yeah, we'll see. But I think maybe he's starting to feel the pressure, and hopefully that lights a fire under the players, man. And we'll see what happens starting on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure, bro. We got a young team. We said it last season as well, that they're going to learn from these experiences. And, we're up against a team like Man City last season, again this season, Liverpool as well. They got some real world-class players. They've been there competing for titles for years. Our players only had the first taste of that last season. So, this season it's been a bit more difficult compared to last season, but we're still up there. Still a lot to play for, and just got to get behind the boys. Hopefully, like I say, we'll come back from this break now refreshed, go on a run, and we can still be right in the mix for it. And as I was saying as well, the Champions League, get to the latter stages of that, would be great if we can go on a deep run in that as well. First season back in the Champions League, so a lot to look forward to, and it all starts against Crystal Palace now. So like I say, massive game. No other result but a win is needed at all. Like this, we really cannot mess that game up in any way. Have to be clinical, take our chances. It's not going to be easy. Crystal Palace are a good team. I've seen him a little bit recently. We know Roy Hodgson's a good manager. He sets them up well. They're going to come in. They're going to make it hard for us. Pretty sure they're going to be quite defensive. Look to hit us on the break. So we got to find the ways to break them down. But like I said, with us being refreshed, I hope we come out fast start, create the chances. We've done that against West Ham. Couldn't take them. Done it again against Liverpool. We know we're very strong here at home. So it should be a comfortable win. But as we said, Premier League, we've seen likes of Luton, Sheffield United, these teams that you think you're going to be able to beat easily, they're able to put a good fight up. So we've really got to be on our game and make sure we get the 3 points.
Yeah, man. Palace, I'm looking at their form and 2-2 draw against City, 1-1 draw against Brighton. They lost 2-1 to Chelsea, 3-1 to Brentford victory for Crystal Palace, and then the most recent match, FA Cup 0-0 draw. So, as you said, yeah, difficult team, whether at home or away. The last time we played them at the Emirates, we won big 4-1. It was later in the season, right before the blip started, when we kind of peaked a little bit. And one of those games was against Crystal Palace. Incredible match. So I think, yes, another opportunity. I feel like as bad as the little stretch we've had, the winter break happened at the exact perfect time. And hopefully, everybody who needed to get rest, they got a few days away from football, and then they've been hanging out together, kind of doing a little preseason style camp over at Dubai, getting refocused, kind of treating the past season as the past. I mean, it's over with, and maybe treat this as a brand new start, new opportunity, to kind of push forward and see what they can do. And I think, if I'm thinking this way, I'm pretty sure Arteta and the boys are thinking that and more, right? An opportunity to kind of just forget about everything that's happened in the past, forget about whatever yips they've had, any kind of issues getting the ball into the back of the net. Now it's you got to go in there like it's first game, and all everybody at the table is at zero. Even though we are behind a little bit, but treat it like day one, match week one, and just kind of go guns blazing, man. And I think just the history of this team, and again, even looking back at the last 3 losses, probably except for maybe even the Fulham loss too. Even though we looked bad, like we scored first, we came out firing. That's not our problem. Our problem is not, we start weak. It's just we haven't been clinical. So I have no doubt that the boys are going to come out ready to kill. They just need to actually kill, right? Get the shots on target, make the goalie work, and get the ball in the back of the net. And I have a feeling, especially with the break, I think we might see that. Um, so I'm picking a 2-0 win, um, with second half goals for our boys.
Okay, just looking as well, Crystal Palace have got an FA Cup game tomorrow away to Everton. So
Oh shit.
pretty sure they're
There
going
you
to take
go.
it quite seriously. That will give us a rest advantage on them as well. We've had a good rest now, 2 weeks. They'll only have had a few days to prepare for our game. So yeah, that should give us advantage. I'm really hopeful we're going to come out the blocks, go right at them, get an early goal. That will obviously change their game plan. They have to come out more, not just try and sit back. And yeah, I'm going for a comfortable win. I'm going for a bounce back win. Answer our critics and send a message out there that we are strong. There's a long way to go. We're still going to be in this battle. I'm going for a 4-0 win.
Take that. Hell yeah, man. Like we need something like that. I'm only saying 2-0 because I feel like we might see maybe like here we go again for a little bit. But I think we're just gonna keep on fighting, keep on persevering, and we get 2 goals. But shit, I'll take 4-0 all day, every day. Let me be wrong for once. No, not for once, but again.
But any win will do, man. We've got to get the 3 points, but it'd be nice if we can have a nice, comfortable win. And like I say, we'll send the message out there. It'll get our confidence back as well. So this week again, it is the winter break for our teams that didn't play last weekend. So there's only 5 games on. So when we do our predictions now, not so many games to look at. I'll pick out the big ones that are there though. So Bournemouth against Liverpool. Thoughts and predictions on that one?
Uh, you know what? I don't know, man. So Bournemouth has been playing some really, really hot football. Low key, man. They've been looking really good. Um, this winter break, though, I don't know. Like it kind of throws things off a little bit. But I will say that you know Liverpool's biggest advantage over a lot of teams is Mo Salah, and he's away. Whew, we need a big upset. I'm gonna pick Bournemouth to win 2-1. They've been scoring goals, boy. Like their past form, they've got a 3-0 win against United, 3-2 against Forest, 3-0 against Fulham. They lost 3-1 to Tottenham, but then they won against QPR in the FA Cup 3-2. So they're scoring goals. They're not afraid. They're a hot team right now. They've worked their way out of relegation. They're 12th. Let's get a win, man. Let's go 3-2. 3-2 Bournemouth. Bring it.
That would be amazing. I think as well, with Salah being out, what you say is really true that that's going to definitely affect him. Any team missing a world-class player like him, it will affect them. And Bournemouth are at home. I'm going to go 2-2. Bit of a
I'll take any drop points. Yeah.
uh, bit of a tricky game, that one still, because Liverpool have had a break as well. They've had a lot of fixtures in a short space of time. They had a shorter break than we did because they had the Carabao Cup as well. So yeah, it'd be nice if Bournemouth could get a win for sure, obviously, but even a draw would be great. Okay, then, like I said, there's not many games, but I'll get a couple more predictions from you. So Brentford versus Nottingham Forest.
That'll be a nice little mid-table. That's real football right there. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna say Nottingham Forest gets the win.
Oh,
We'll say 2-1.
okay, Sheffield United, West Ham.
Um, West Ham probably. Sheffield United are the one team that just looks pretty terrible. I think West Ham gets that one 2-0.
Okay, and then Brighton versus Wolves.
E. Two fun teams, man. Wolves have kind of getting themselves gotten going a little bit. Brighton I mean, Brighton is Brighton, man. They're going to play difficult. It's at home. I think Brighton squeezes out a 2-1 victory. They're missing uh, Matoma, so see what happens.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be another interesting weekend. It's weird when we have this break, so only 5 games, and it's only
Yeah,
for us. Our only direct rivals that are playing are Liverpool. Man City are on a break. Aston Villa are on a break. Tottenham are on a break. So they're the teams that are right around us, apart from Liverpool. So yes, it's a quiet weekend, but we just got to take care of our business, get the win. And as I was saying to you, Man City, bro, they're looking dangerous. You see their game against Newcastle. That should have finished a draw, really, but it just shows you what a player like De Bruyne can do. He just came on and changed the game. What a goal that was! What an assist! They got Haaland coming
incredible
back.
player, man.
They
It's hard to hate him, but I hate him. But I don't hate him. He's a real good player, real nice guy too, by all accounts. But you just hate to see him play against a rival. You know,
Yeah, bro.
sucks.
But this is the issue. They're such a strong team. They got Haaland coming back in there. We know what they're like. They get stronger in the second half of the season when the pressure's on. We saw it ourselves last season firsthand. They can go on runs of just winning 10 games in a row. And it is a worry, but you never know. This could be the season where, they don't go do that. They don't go get 90, close to 90 points, 90 plus. It might be 85 points maybe is enough to win it. We don't know how it's going to pan out. So we just got to take care of our business, get as many points on the board as we can, and let's hope it'll be enough to win the league at the end of the season. And as I say as well, let's hope we can have a nice long run in the Champions League, bro.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's time to go. I'm already starting to get a little nervous just because again, I've not paid attention to any football podcasts or none of that. I kind of turned it all off. I'm going to start listening after the game, basically the reactions to whatever happens this week. But yeah, man, Saturday it's back on, and for us, it's a 6:30 in the morning game, so we're starting the day on before the sun comes up, and we'll be at the bar. I don't think we'll be able to be drinking, but we'll have our own breakfast, and we'll hopefully crack a beer post game to celebrate a victory. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But we'll be up bright and early to watch the Arsenal as always.
Cool, bro. Yeah, it's a real early kickoff for you lot, isn't it? It's a Saturday lunchtime one. Let's hope we start the
Yeah,
Saturday off well, get the win, and hopefully discussing with you next week a great win for us, bro. Thanks so much for your
thanks,
time.
man.
So that's all from
Absolutely,
us.
brother.
You're welcome, bro. So that's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.